This tutorial is a project of nonprofitaccountingbasics.org, a free resource developed by the Greater Washington Society of CPAs Educational Foundation. Our goal is to encourage accuracy and accountability to help smaller nonprofits successfully manage and sustain their organizations.
Greetings and welcome. My name is Christine Colburn, and today we're going to be discussing payroll taxes. This presentation is meant to be an overview and an introduction, so we will be going over some of the real basics of payroll, starting with how is a paycheck calculated. We start with gross wages, and then we take away a lot of taxes and several voluntary deductions to come up with net pay. This is something near and dear to all of our hearts. It's a sample pay stub. Typically has information like we're looking at here, which would be the gross wages and all the taxes and voluntary deductions for this payroll, as well as additional information for year-to-date wages and deductions and net pay for this employee. And you can use these pay stubs to take to a bank to get a loan on your house or car. They're very useful, and most payroll services will give you online versions of the pay stub, so you can digitally download them. Some of the statutory deductions are taxes, all types of taxes, and the federal income tax is usually the largest amount. These taxes can be looked up in the IRS publication 15. Social Security tax withholding is 6.2%, and it goes up to a maximum annual earnings per year. Medicare tax is 1.45%, and then there is a new additional Medicare tax for employees earning over $200,000 per year, which started in 2013. Most states have income tax withholding, and a lot of states have various local, city, county, school district taxes as well. In the area of voluntary or optional payroll deductions, these deduction amounts are authorized in writing by the employee and generally cover these types of benefits: health insurance premiums for medical, dental, eye, and so on, life insurance premiums, retirement plan contributions, and employee stock option plans. Additionally, you might have deductions for uniforms, meals, dues, etc. Now, the next topic is how the employer pays payroll taxes and what their responsibilities are. Depositing payroll taxes. There are usually two primary types of deposit schedules. Semi-monthly deposits are for wages that are over $50,000 for the look-back period. Monthly deposits are for total wages under $50,000 for the look-back period. The employer must also prepare reconciliation reports, record the payroll information in the financial statements, and file all the payroll tax returns. So to summarize the employee's payroll taxes, these amounts are in addition to the taxes that are withheld from employees' checks, would be Social Security taxes at the rate of 6.2% per year, Medicare taxes 1.45% of wages, and two taxes that the employee does not pay: federal unemployment taxes and state unemployment taxes. And FICA, which sometimes is confused for Social Security, stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act. Both the employer and the employee pay half of Social Security and Medicare taxes, and that total FICA tax rate for 2014 is 15.3%. For reporting, there are a number of different reports that an employer is responsible for, including the tax deposit reports and the advices that are used to make these deposits. There's also an annual federal unemployment tax return on the Form 940 or 940EZ for smaller filers. Then quarterly, employers have to report all the wages on a quarterly tax return, the 941. Annually, we also have to report the total of the 941 wages on the 945. And then wage and tax statements, which are also very familiar to most people, which are W-2s and sometimes 1099s if you have contract workers, and the employer does a W-3, a transmittal for all the W-2s. And another form that everybody's probably seen and worked with a lot is the W-4, which is your employee withholding allowance certificate shown here. You basically spell out your marital status, how many dependents, and all your tax withholding information, such as Social Security number and your location where you live. This was a brief presentation, and I mentioned a lot of topics that you may need more help with. What you're going to need to do with these resources are, first of all, file and get a state tax ID for withholding and/or unemployment. And this link goes to a particular website that has all 50 sites for filing taxes, and most payroll providers, you can find this at many payroll providers' websites that are doing tax withholding for all 50 states. Also popular at payroll providers' sites, but they have their own site, is a free online paycheck calculator. So if you ever have to write a manual check when you're using an automated system and you don't want to have to do everything from scratch, it's very good to have this type of resource. So Paycheck City is a very popular site where you can create a check easily, print it out, download it, and create a manual check for your employee. And the really big document that you may want to download and keep for reference is the IRS Publication 15, which is the Employer's Tax Guide. This link will show you all 67 pages of the Pub 15 in great detail. So any of the sections that were not spelled out, including things about the look-back period and what a look-back period is, you'll find in Pub 15. The next link is a W-4, and finally, we did not discuss this, but the newest in our list of payroll tax forms would be Employment Eligibility Verification, or Form I-9, and the link is right here. Thank you for your time and attention.